Yo, RDD87Z? Are you still here? If you are, do give me a ping. I'll give you a brief rundown on how I do that. Oh, hell yeah. Let's see. Of course, man. I got you. Just give me a sec. Let me just adjust my music so I still have some ambience going on. Okay, cool. So, uh, I have, let's see. I'm gonna start this off in a new scene because I've done this with two characters as of now. So let's see. I have a base rig. Yeah, this is like my. Oh, no problem at all, dude. Like, I'm more than happy to let people know about this amazing software because this just makes my life so much easier. I don't want to be like animating in Maya, especially when there's something this fast coming up. Yeah, so say this is like my basic character. I'm just gonna put him in like the default pose. You can do that by going into the box controllers, command, go to default pose. You got that? Cool. Now I'm just gonna search for a model that I have. Let's see. Glaive boss, animation, sword. Let's do it with the swords because like it's a lot easier to understand, and then you can just like uh, what do you say? Extrapolate that result anywhere else. So this is like my skeletal mesh for my sword. I'm just dropping it in, and you see it comes with. Uh, you can do it with a static mesh. You does not necessarily you don't necessarily have to do it with a skeletal mesh. The only reason why I'm doing that is because I know that in my game I'm gonna be having this exact skeleton for my sword. That's why. So the sword has a root bone. It has a hilt and a tip. The hilt and tip does not really matter. You can rig this in Cascadeur with a point controller, but I do not suggest that because I've not been able to get that to work as well. I'll show you an example of that later. But basically what I do is like if I have a root bone on the mesh, I'll click that. I'll just like add it directly to my arm. And so my arm over here would be the right arm. I'm gonna click that so it highlights in the thing. So that's hand R. I'm just gonna drag and drop the thing into hand R. So the hand R is gonna have, what's the advantage of giving it a skeletal mesh? Well, so in Unreal what I'm doing is I have like a damage trace function. So like I have a anim notify which does a trace, but the trace takes a start and an end socket, and ideally having that in this skeletal mesh initially when you make it like that is gonna be a lot more helpful later on, because like the sword is not the only weapon I have. So the boss has this like little spear too, and the spear as well is a skeletal mesh. And the reason why it helps a lot, if you look at the skeleton, I can add sockets to it. You can do that to static meshes as well, but I prefer to use skeletal meshes because I think it has its own goods and stuff, because you can always like cast to like a skeletal mesh component and search for sockets on there, while it's not as nice to do on just a static mesh. I don't know if you get that. Yeah, more control, man, more control. That's the reason why I'm using skeletal meshes. But yeah, once you get that root bone to whatever arm that you want it to be, all you have to do is like, you have the root bone selected for the sword. I'm just gonna go to transform. I'm gonna go to local position, and I'm just gonna zero all of these out. If I zero all of those out, it's gonna attach itself, relative to how the bones transformation is. And then if I zero out the rotation, it's going to have a good start. And then after that, all I do is like adjust it, I adjust it accordingly for the animation. This is like specific for the animation, that's all. Like in the game, I'm using a totally different like I'm using the animation as just a base. So like when I import it into Unreal, it does not really have the sword attached to it. How I'm doing that is basically I have like a socket on my main skeleton, and that skeleton after that, uh, it just works, man. I don't know how to say it. Yeah, more control. Yes, you offset the rotation. Yeah, that's technically it. Like all I do is like I'll line up the mesh in the idle pose, and then I'll pose it to curl the fingers. There's a gun socket or something. Okay. Yeah, 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 yeah. So like you have like the Unreal mannequin almost always comes with like a you know an IK bone. Actually, it's like a handgun IK. So you when I rigged the mannequin in Cascadeur, what I basically do is you rig it in such a way that the bones just like follow the IK bones, just follow whatever parent bone that they're supposed to be in. It's called uh, it's called a root constraint, and you can add that when you're creating the rig itself. So like I have like all my handar, handle, handgun. So to show a quick example, if the constraint, if I set it to follow on, so right now it's not following on y-axis. So that means that if I move my hand, say that much, the bone's not following, yeah? But if I just go to my root constraint, this is the rig channel. This is not the actual bones themselves. So the constraint, I'm just gonna go to my handgun constraint and follow it on y-axis, and you see it just automatically snaps there. It's a lot less work for me to go in and key all of these animations to follow the IK bones properly, because Cascadeur, you can just like automate it per animation. If you don't want it in certain animations, you can turn that off as well. So I think that's a good deal for me. So that's what I'm doing. So this one is just a basic rig, yeah. Like you cannot control the sword tip to follow anything, but I did make a rig very similar to this. I'll show that to you in just a second. So base rig, rig with sword. Ah man, I think I might have deleted that, but let's see. Sword idle ready. Maybe this one has the rig for the sword, so the sword can have its own rig as well. Yeah, this one does. So if I go into point controller mode here, you see like I have like a, so this is one of the reasons why you would want it to be a skeletal mesh instead of a static mesh, because then you can rig the sword onto the character. Like you see it's like following the hand and stuff. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I made my own mostly because the when I updated my Cascadeur to be the new, the new release version, I don't think they had the UV5 mannequin already rigged. I had a version for Unreal Engine 4's mannequin also rigged for Cascadeur, but since Unreal Engine 5 came out, not really used it as much. So yeah, I just created my own rig in Unreal Engine for the Unreal Engine 5 mannequin, and honestly, one of the easiest things that you could do. Like you don't have any headache about making constraints or space switching that you would find in like a traditional animation software like Blender and Maya. So you have that amount of flexibility as well. So ideally in Cascadeur, you only need like a skeletal mesh with skinning data, and you can rig it inside of Cascadeur. I've only done that on humanoid characters. I've not done that on any sort of like quadrupeds. I've never rigged a quadruped before, but that will be the goal later, because I don't want my game to just have like large humanoid boss all the fucking time, because that'd be like stealing a lot from FromSoft. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. Oh yeah, dude. Like, I don't even think it's that complex to rig it as well. All you have to do is make sure that the physics body is all set up, and that's like a simple process. And once you're done with that, all you have to do is make sure that whatever IK bones that you have, you need to parent them to the particular bones that are following in your animation. And it's not like you have to go and manually adjust them and stuff like that. You just put on a constraint, say it to follow on y-axis, and zero the relative location of all of those out, and you're set. So right now what I'm trying to do is like, so in my game, let's see, so I implemented like a parry mechanic. So like when I do this, there's like a hitbox which shows up, and when the AI hits me, it has a chance probability to, like, do a wake up attack after it hits me, or after its attack got blocked. And what I'm trying to do right now is have a better wake up attack. So right now he'll do like an overhead slash. I block it, and then he immediately goes into this thrusting animation, which does not really give me any like sort of emergence, like if I hit it, I ideally want to move away from him, and if I move away, I get hit. Yeah. So I want him to do, instead of like that thrusting slash which I made, I want him to do like a jump backwards, sweep in front. So if it hits, uh, yeah, dude, like, the thing is, it does not look like much right now. Like, anybody could probably uh, make an AI which can do more complex stuff than this. But the reason why I'm doing it in such a way is because I'm using gameplay abilities, and whatever this guy is doing right now, it's all like it's a serialized field. Yeah, it's like in Unity. So this is the ability that he's doing right now, and all I have to do is set up, hey, while you're attacking, can he wake up attack? If he can, it'll do that. It has an effect, a gameplay effect probability. If you're familiar with well, man, I mean the NPC. Yeah, yeah, dude. Like making like a basic AI in Unreal is really not that much of a challenge. Making complex AI though, holy shit, that's where you're gonna get a lot of trouble, and you have like multiple frameworks to work with as well. Especially if I'm gonna be using gas. So when he attacks, he does this thing where he applies this gameplay effect on himself, and this is probability because like I wanted to only apply it certain times. Right now I have it set so he'll always trigger that probability to attack me, like as soon as like his attack gets blocked or if he gets hit. Yeah, dude. It is gonna be that, but I wanna make it easier for myself, like I want it to be an iterative process where I can just like stick in the animation, stick in the uh, damage per animation, and then like do the calculation later. That's the ideal scenario for me. Yeah, step by step, man, step by step, you get it. So like I'll just show you, okay? Like right now, every time I block his attack, he's gonna do a wake up attack because like the probability is at 1, so it'll always trigger. But I'll put that in 30% to show you how it works. So yeah, he's wake up attacking right now, but if I set the probability for this to be 0.3, which basically this gameplay effect triggers a queue, and the queue sends an event to the gameplay ability to say, hey, you can attack, and this will only trigger 30% of the time. So right now it's gonna trigger 30% of the time. I'm gonna Control Shift S, save, hit play, and when he hits me, he ideally shouldn't trigger it as much. He should go back to just deflect and, you know. See, he didn't wake up attack right now, but he will wake up attack 30% of the time. So see, right now he can attack, and I'll do that again. He didn't wake up attack. I'll do that again. he wakes up attack. Even though it's 30%, I don't know, something's rigged. And these are like serialized fields, yeah? So like the framework's already done. All I need to do is make the animations and what do you say? Make the animations and make more abilities for this character to like execute. That's all. Yeah, man, I hope that answers some of your questions on why I'm doing things the way that I'm doing. Oh yeah. So let's see. I want this guy to like this is his deflect state. So this is the keyframe where like this is how he deflects his attack. And from this pose, I want him to do a overhead jumping backwards sweep in front of him sort of thing going. So I got up until this keyframe, and in this keyframe I want him to like rotate his whole body. His feet are still touching the ground. Rotate the whole body, swing his hips all that way. Just doing a rough pose. So let's see. So he does that, but I also want him to like bend as he does that as well. So hey man, no problem at all, dude. Like I'm actually very thankful that somebody's like actually paying me attention, man. Like it makes everything a lot easier when somebody's watching what you're doing. So like so the way if I can verbalize what it is that I'm doing, I'm pretty sure that it gets easier for me to do my own work as well. So thank you. So if you see what I'm doing, I'm like letting the auto physics do most of the work, and I'm just like doing inertia, like so this keyframe and this keyframe are basically the same, but if I have this much amount of interpolation between the frames and the next keyframe that it needs to look is like that, it does the physics calculations almost automatically, dude. And it just makes it so much easier for somebody to do dynamic animations. Of course, when it comes to something like facial animation, it's a totally different ballgame. But for this, for game animation, I don't know why like not enough people are using Cascadeur. So I want him to jump like that. I'll just like disable his what do you call it? So do I want him to land with the left feet? Yes, I do want him to land with his left feet because I think that shows a lot more dynamic like movement, I think so. So he does this, and over here you ideally want it to like no, I don't think turning the hips that much really amounts to much. Gives a really weird pose too, so maybe I'll do the hip swing at the end of the animation, to give it a little bit of weight. So right now, maybe just a touch. And then what I'll do is I'll swing my chest. So when he gets to this part, I do want him to start with the hitbox, so I'll get to that. Kind of pose this. know, that kind of looks wrong. I think maybe it's because the chest is turned a little too much. Maybe extend it a lot more. Bring it down. I also don't want him to like poke himself with his own stick, you know? I want like you see here, like he's no, dude, I do not have a lot of experience in animation. You know what I've been doing? I've been looking at this. I subscribe to this guy's YouTube channel, yeah? Hilarious dude. I absolutely recommend, okay? His name is The Knight in Green. I'm just gonna find him so I can link him to you. And dude, all the animation reference that you need, like ever, you know, like just check out his channel. He has the ludex Gundyr, like the whole sequence, like all of his animations, he has it all acted out. Yeah, so if I ever need to go and find a specific animation that I like from a boss, I'll just check this guy out. He does a lot of good stuff, man. Should probably start a shout out section on my channel, dude. Okay, so wait, what is wrong? Okay. Oh, I know what's wrong. It's because my arms are not interpolating in FK. That's why they're doing IK. Of course, they're gonna do some really wonky stuff. You see, like just having that difference of IK and FK gives it so much like. Okay, so wait, so he swings it. I need to act this out, man. Okay, you know what? This is an educational channel, man. So I'm gonna get this guy's animation reference just to show you how I'm like tackling this. That's the video that I've been looking at, so look at that. And I have this like speeding thing, so whoa, cool. And you see like he will act out the yeah, man. This is all I need, dude. Knight of Green, dude. Like I don't know who this is, but like holy shit, makes it so much easier. I'm just seeing if there's like a jumping attack that ludex does where he's like clearing the ground in front of him. I know a few bosses do that, but I don't remember if ludex does that. I know he's a lot more like aggressive. So maybe this one I'll just have to like do it on my own, you know? Yes, he does, man. He has a broom and the legendary broom sort of helps too, you know. Okay, let's see. I'm doing this. What if I keep the rotation similar to this? Copy, go to scene, global relative, no, local relative. Yeah. Okay, this will actually give him a bit of like anticipation, I think, if I do it like this. So just gotta blow on my old G402 Logitech mouse because Logitechs do that. Kind of want him to move a lot further back. This a little bit up too. And then swing his hips. Do a nice dynamic pose, you know, so it's like readable. Actually, as a player, if I'm looking at somebody like doing that, I would not like it. So I would ideally need to push these to the front. Yeah, yeah, dude. That helps. So maybe like in this pose I'm gonna do a swing, but I think the swing is better done if I just rotate it from an axis like this. Let's see. Yeah, now he's not like... Hmm. You know what? I'm not gonna be too worried about the animation clipping on himself, because I am trying to just do like a prototype. Oh wait, maybe we don't have to, you know? Maybe we can do it perfect, who knows? I want the whole swing to be between like 10 frames, you know? So what I'll do is I'll do the end frame. So wait, he swings forward and then he'll back up into his idle pose. Actually, I'll put the whole end pose here and then later I can interpolate whatever it is that I need. So he needs to sweep in front of him, so a little bit more. He'll get to that point and he'll twist his arms all the way through. It's a little bit of jitter, but I think we can work with that. And then after this, I'll need him to like, you know, land and then do his whole recovery animation back into idle. Actually, if his attack gets deflected like this, I don't think I want him to... What do you call it? I don't know, man. I'll think about it later when time comes. I guess this is not an attack that the player should be able to deflect, because I can't think of a way for him to get into to another deflect animation like this after he does an attack like that. This is the only deflect animation that I have. Maybe I should have like a mid-air version for a deflect as well, but I'll think about that later. So jumps back, swings, maybe the arms. I'll just get rid of the keyframes over here, so this one's a lot more smoother. Yep, it is. And then do I want him to do like an anime land pivot around? It'll look a lot more sexier, I think. So he shifts his weight, jumps back. As he's jumping, his whole body kind of like gets into, you know. It's just that this little thing, man. I don't know. There's something wrong. Maybe the body should also not have a keyframe. Yep, yep. See, that works. Let's just check the trajectory. Okay, he is hitting from his right. So if the player blocks it, you know what? Let's try it out with the deflect animation later. So he does that. Let's say he lands, like, you know, in this frame. Oh yeah, he does land. Oh yeah, dude. Oh, you really don't need to even use the trajectory tool if you just want to look at the arcs for swings, yeah? Say I want to look at how, like, what kind of trajectory this one's following. Just select whatever it is that you want and select the whole frame length. And when you do that, it'll sort of show you, at least for the interpolate, it shows you with the interpolation. So like, let me turn on interpolation here. So if I just select the whole scene and whatever object that I have selected in the scene, it'll show the trajectory. Pretty accurate as well. So like, yeah. So turning that on, I can see that in the last frame, I probably need to move back a lot more. Oh yeah, dude. Cascadeur has been like going like it went through a whole lot of stuff. Yeah, like it changed. I've been using the software for like almost a year and a half. Like when I was in game dev school, I was using this to just like play around, see if I'd like it or not. And I gotta say, I absolutely fell in love with this. Just makes it so I don't need to like need a crusty, complaining, whiny ass animator. It's gonna be like, no, that's gonna take years for me to do. Oh, heck, fuck you. I'll just do it by myself. Yeah, dude, like when Cascadeur was like in its like, you know, beta testing phase, that was when I was like getting seriously into like like video games in general, making video games. And uh I think my background was like kind of in like rigging because like I loved rigging things a lot. And I even made like a rig for my final project in school, but the problem was like by the time I made that, Cascadeur already came out, and then I realized, damn, I've been doing all this work for like nothing. And when I realized that, I was like, yeah, I guess stocks are, if I want to be like an indie developer or something, like I don't know what I want. Like I'm still like gonna start searching for a job, and ideally, uh, yes, dude, it just makes so much stuff easier. I don't have to go into Maya and put like box controllers and IK constraints and point constraints. Just works out of the bat. And hey, after I'm done with this animation, man, I'll show you the secondary motion of this. So I'll have this guy like swing, like all around, like, you know, like his arms are flailing, kind of, especially his like left arm. I'll show that because it makes making the animation so much easier, man. So wait, he lands in this, and as he lands, maybe I want him to go a little bit down, you know? Or do I actually, I need to have a follow through for his swing. Waiting for Capcom to copyright strike my stream. I don't really care. Not really into making money. Not really into making money, man. Let's see. Would be better if I just froze these. No. Let me keep them as they are right now. Follow through. So this is ideally the time I want to like check for like, you know, how well it works. Like how good is the timing for the swing. And it's very slow. It is extremely slow. So let's see when this swing actually starts. Let me keep the timing for all of these the same, but I'll do the startup for the swing itself a lot faster. So just moving the keyframes a lot closer. Let's see how fast that is. No. Actually, yeah, it's these ones that I gotta Control T, scale these down so it happens a lot quicker. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, dude. And then after he does this, I want him to do the same keyframe here so it does not look that weird. So he'll do an attack and then he'll go back to his idle mode. And the idle mode, see, this is the reason why I fucking love Cascadeur, okay? Like, if I need to just have him go back into idle mode, I'll just open up the idle animation that I made a while ago. Just since the skeletons are literally the same, I'll just need to go to this, copy that, but I'll keep the pivot on his right foot. You know what? I'll close the deflect because I don't want to modify that. This is also an idle animation, but I will save as separately later. Actually, I'll do that now. Control Shift save this one separately so I don't overwrite the idle animation, you know. Glaive boss underscore right sweep back. Oh, the reason why is because I'll show you. You're gonna love this one. I know Cascadeur's channel actually did a bunch of tutorials on this, and also Aaron Nemeth, I believe his name is. He also did a tutorial on why relative copy, global copies are going to be very helpful. So the frame of animation here and here is the same. And in the idle animation, I selected everything, I copied, but I kept the pivot to my right foot. And in my animation again here, you see the right foot is here, yeah? So I'm gonna select this, right click on the right foot, and in my copy settings, I'm gonna say copy everything globally but relative to where the right foot is, you know? So if I press Control V here, you see the idle animation gets like pasted relative to where the foot is. And that's the reason why I made it like that. So the idle animation's reached. I'm gonna give it a little bit more time for it to like settle down, you know? And I'll play this animation back and see if this works. Nah, dude. You know what? I think I need him to be in this pose. I think I need to do a follow through pose again. Because you see, as he's landing, and then he just goes back into this like unnatural idle animation without him getting his feet underneath him. I don't know. I think that's the best way that I could explain it. So we need him to catch his feet underneath him. So I'll shift that a few frames. Here I'll just press S. It already looks a lot better. As soon as I gave him that extra space for him to like, like catch his feet underneath him. Maybe. Okay, let's see. I'll select this. Now I'll use the trajectory mode, okay? I'll go to trajectory. Show me only the keyframes. I'm gonna move this guy. And since I'm like working with like the lowest amount of like, uh, what do you call it? Very low amount of keyframes. I think it's a lot easier to like adjust like animations like these. Of course it's gonna be a little bit janky over here because this one has all of its interpolation like, pinned already, but if I change it back to like Bezier clamped, yeah, that works. Just adding a little bit more range, I'm looking for him to strike here. So hits that, hits that. What is this frame? Yeah, this is where I need him to do some recovery. So he lands here, and this frame I want him to land his other foot too. Sort of like land heavy. Alright, he's landed heavy, but I want him to land like that. Maybe he comes close to pointing that foot too. You know what? Let's have him land on both feet, man. Just a little bit. I saw something twitch upstairs. Then after he lands, he can maybe have like an extra bit of rollback. The hands are gonna get all weird, I know. This animation is moving. How do you add it to your NPC to keep track of the location where the NPC is, etc.? Thinking. So I don't get it. If this animation is moving, how do you add it to your NPC? Like most of my animations are root motion, so they are moving in the animation. And the thing is, if it is root motion and the AI has its own capsule, it's not gonna override the capsule, and it's not gonna just try to get to that root motion position in the animation all the time. No. So if he's here and he plays the animation, the wide swing jump back animation that I'm making right now, if he jumps back, he's gonna go here, but he's not gonna clip through the wall. He's just gonna go here and he'll keep playing the same animation until like he lands here. So that's one of the better things about root motion, I can say. Yeah, most of locomotions, yes, they normally do. Even my locomotion, all of them have root motion on them. But that's mostly because I'm using procedural elements from the animation blueprint. So like I don't have any side strafing animations, yeah? But I'm emulating side strafing by orientation warping, and this one I believe requires you to have root motion animation. I did not make all the basic animations in this project. Number one, I took most of those from Lyra. Lyra has a really good, like, idle, walk start, walk backwards, walk side, left and right, and all of that. I downloaded that, and for, say, when my player character has a sword, I just went into Cascadeur, modified his pose a little bit, and added that on top of the animation. And the reason why I have root motion is because I want to make use of both of these nodes, stride warping and orientation warping. So I'll show you. So when I play the game, and when I go, like, you can see the start and stop working, yeah? So I'm using the Lyra framework, kind of, to give that animation layer. Like, I'm using animation layers, but I'm not using nearly as many animations as Lyra does. So you see this, all of this side strafing animation for my player character, all procedural, man, all procedural. Even for the AI, it's procedural. And the only thing this one needs is two kinds of animation, forward and backward. So when you're going backwards and you're going right, it'll play the backward animation, but it'll still keep the orientation warping logic on it. So it seamlessly transitions nicely. Yeah, the walking to the left and right are not an animation at all. That's basically just computed in the animation blueprint to offset like my leg position based on my torso's rotation, which will always keep in front if I have that mode on. So like I kind of want it to be like Monster Hunter, like the soundtrack playing. I want my game to have multiple classes of weapons. So like I have a sword right here. Like, see, when you switch to the sword, I'm going back to orientation. Like, I'm sticking to my orientation. But when I don't have that, I want them to when, say, they're using like a gun or something, like a cannon or something, I want them to face the enemies. So orientation warping was a must for me. And for orientation warping, you do not need the left and right animations. You only need the forward animation ideally. So the AI right now only has a forward animation, So when he walks back, he'll keep playing the forward animation, but his hips will like swing because he has the orientation warping as well. But I need to go in and add a backwards walking animation so he does not do that. But that's a story for later. So yeah, because of orientation and stride warping, it all looks really neat. My locomotion system is pretty lightweight, and since I'm making this with gas, I can have it in multiplayer. So the only problem right now that I'm facing is that one of my abilities, the dash ability, is not like replicating properly because I did not use gameplay cues as well. Which should not be that much of an issue. I can go back and fix that. That is on my stream agenda today. So yeah, client and server. Am I simulating lag? No, I'm not simulating lag. So you see, like the client, when he does the dash, he plays the effects and stuff. But if I'm a server and I'm playing it, the server can see it, but the client cannot. Like the client cannot see the effects. And I know what the problem is, so I'm not too bothered about fixing it right now. So yeah, the abilities, they all work seamlessly fine. If I parry on this screen, you can see it on the client screen as well. So oh, but he changed targets, so I have to go here. Oh wait, he changed targets again. What the fuck? Okay, he's kind of confused. He's walking here, he's focusing, he got his focus, he's gonna swing on him instead. Of course he is. Okay, I think I broke my AI, so that's good to know. I broke my AI on multiplayer. It was working perfectly fine yesterday. Let's see. Yeah, I'll just remove this focus. See, man, simplest AI ever. Yeah, no, I'm gonna keep this guy a lot forward. I don't have to keep going close to him. Okay, I didn't block that. I'm gonna block this. I guess I'll have to like enter into his aggro sphere for him to actually trigger something, but let's see what is going wrong. So he is triggering the ability, but I don't think yeah, no, I don't think that ability is doing much here. Let's see what is happening here. So if the owner AI has a target and it is valid, it does it. If not, it cancels the ability. Just get stuck here. What the hell? Yeah, no, it just seems to have trouble on online multiplayer. But I'm debugging it on my second screen. Let's see. So the deflect animation did not play perfectly. Okay, he's changed aggro. He attacked me through. I think I'm emulating ping. And now he's broken. He's triggering the ability. Ignore restart self. Yeah, let's see if that maybe that might fix. Come on, change targets. Okay, that is working. Good to know that I had to like ignore self restart. So yeah, dude, multiplayer boss battle framework. Yeah, I fixed it, dude. All I had to do was like, I'm triggering this ability, yeah, here. I just had to be like, ignore the self restart. So like, if an instance of that ability gets triggered, you just need to trigger it only once. I also have it so that when my ability gets triggered, I cancel all other abilities with the same tag. I don't know, the gameplay abilities are fucking awesome. You know, I only wish I learned it a lot earlier. Okay, let's see. What was I doing before I got distracted and started doing AI stuff? Animating, yeah. Even though I'm using like ludex Gundyr as like inspiration for this, I think the combat system is gonna be a lot more closer to an MMORPG. Because I like it. I like not having to wreck my head every time like a boss fucking kicks me in the butt, you know? Let's see, follow through. I don't like this keyframe either. See, he's twisting he's twisting his whole fucking body. Let's see if I go to body and do FK interpolation. That should fix it. Actually, that kind of looks pretty good. Swing and go back to idle. Swing and go back to idle. Yeah, dude. I'll give him a bit of follow through here. Also, his face is doing a really weird thing, so I'm gonna fix that as well. Bro, ideally, I want this guy, as soon as he lands, I want him to do a somersault, like a, you know, like a turnaround and then go into idle, because I think that would be a lot more stylish. 1, 2, 3. Yep, paste that. No, that's not working. Yeah, that works. Just so glad I started in 2.79 Blender, man, because that's usually how you used to model. You just change the pivots all the time. Okay. Dude, I think the base for the animation's done now. What I'll do is like stagger these times a little bit, have him do things a lot faster, I guess. Yeah, this should work a lot better. He snaps back into idle. His hips do a weird thing, but that should not be an issue. I just need to go to whatever frame it's like doing the weird shit. Set priority frame. Maybe I set priority frame on this and let this one interpolate with physics. Yep. Swing in. Have him turn. Once I have him turn, I'll probably have him in this pose for 2 more frames, or at least, yeah, 2 more frames, so it gives a bit of life, you know. So this one's, I don't need it to be an FK anymore. This one I can just turn it back into IK. Yeah, that works. What is the red dot? So when I'm doing physical animation, like when I'm basically drafting the animation on the actual thing, but the final animation is going to be this green one, yeah? So let me show you what this is. This is called animation set priority frame. So when I have this one off, like you see, like the physics calculation kind of does its own thing where it thinks and sees, hey, between this frame and this frame there's like this much amount of movement, and there's this much amount of inertia actually between this and this, because you're not moving much but you're changing your body. So you see how the feet is all stretched, even though the pose itself is not. Yeah. So at moments like that, when the physics thing is not doing exactly what you want, you go in and say, hey, in this frame, set it to be a priority. Wait, what? Set this to be a priority. So the physics calculation will make sure that, hey, in this frame it is supposed to be here. And that kind of fixes a lot of issues that Cascadeur animations have. I only saw that on their recent tutorial on how to make a walk cycle. Man, walk cycles are a bitch to figure out. I made the walk cycle for this boss by myself, and I still don't think it's a good enough walk cycle. It kind of looks okay. It looks better because like I have like stride warping, so like the feet do not slide. But yeah, my walking animation for my boss kind of looks like ass. So yeah, that is the this big red square here. That's just setting the priority for when I want it to follow physics and when I want it to follow the pose that I set. So this one looks okay. Yes, exactly. It takes priority over it to keep this pose overriding over here whatever pose that you're supposed to be doing on physics. It just overrides it to be this pose that you keyframed. That's all. That's all it does. I'm seeing some weird shit here, man. Okay, even this frame over here, you see how like it's the physics just gets it way too wonky, yeah? Times like that is when you ideally want to use this. See, it didn't even do much, man. Maybe I set this one to this as well. Oh yeah, now it fixed it. No, it did not do anything. Well, I know how to kind of fix that issue. So I select everything, I go to my physics settings, go into the physics corrector, I'll set geometry stretching to be minimal. So there is a little bit of stretch, but there's some wrong here. Come on, man. Why you don't work? I'll tell you what. I'll freeze this. Freeze the whole thing. I'll just pull this down a little bit because I know the Cascadeur livestream did tell us that lowering the center of mass for the character makes the physics animations kind of be more smooth. And yeah, that did fix the issue. Just remove the priority frames here. Yeah, so my body's not stretching in a weird way. It does do this weird jiggle over here though. So I'll do that, like I'll fix that. It kind of makes it red for it to show that it's still computing, like, you know, the physics. Or I don't think it can blend into this physics as well, so let's see. Want this to be priority. Kind of snaps back into idle, bro. That's not something I want though. So yeah, having that timing over there is pretty much good. Yeah, dude, like I know that making walking animations for like a really extremely stylized character is gonna be a lot easier if you know exactly, like, you know, what you're doing with your animations. Like if you know the basics of like having weight and stuff like that, like transfer of weights and follow through and anticipation. If you can get concepts like those into your head, it gets a lot easier to make walking animations that I realized. Well, I'm nowhere close to being anywhere as good as any of our Chinese counterparts, as you said. Like they make so many good montages. Most of the clickbaity Unreal Engine 5 games that are coming out on YouTube as well. You see their animations are always like pretty crisp, but they also tend to be a lot of stylized character, a lot of Genshin Impact uh, inspired characters. And I think not everyone has switched to Cascadeur yet. I know most of the new age, what do you say, new age technical animators for Unreal Engine, they are getting into Cascadeur right now. But yeah, like it has its own applications outside, yeah, like outside of just video games. So I do think it's gonna take at least a year for people to like start getting really serious about this. I did have an instructor in school who was keeping up with all of these things, like all the good softwares that are coming out. He did do a brief class on Cascadeur, like an optional class, because he thought this is going to be the future of animation. And I I did not attend his class on Cascadeur because at that point I felt like I had done way more of my own research that like I didn't need to, you know. Like fuck, man. I got an ego on me. I'll tell you. But yeah, like most people are getting into Cascadeur these days, and I'm really happy for them, man. Maybe I'll, you know what? I'll take this link for this. Yes, man, absolutely. So I'm just gonna share this stream on Cascadeur's Discord because I know uh, they might like it. You know, like stream general channel. Do they have anything? Chat for streams, showcase and critiques. Wanna show off my things? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do, man. Can't just be developing my my video game, making game animations for my indie game, guys. Check it out if y'all free. I'm using Cascadeur, of course. Yeah. Yeah, dude, like I kind of work in a bubble. I realize it's not the best thing to do, but yeah, I'm recently getting over like, you know, school and burnout or whatever. If somebody's watching this and they know exactly what I'm talking about, yeah, fuck you, dude. Fuck you too, bro. It's just a whole lot of things. Anyways, right now I think would be the good time for me to start doing secondary animation. But before I do that, I am going to do a few more cleanups here. Like, wait, it's okay. I'll just fix the swing speed for this. You know, make it even shorter, I guess. Between how much? 10 frames? 10 frame for my swing? Yeah, 10 frame for my swing looks okay. So yeah, so now I have my whole animation kind of blocked out. I'm very happy with this. Maybe for this one I'm gonna set it to be priority frame to it. The work's never done, man. The work never gets done. Maybe I'll put a keyframe here for the legs so I can just like ah, that never works. And I want it like I'll just tween this to be the previous frame, closer to the previous frame. No, I'm doing it in local relative, global, not relative. global relative. No, that doesn't work. Select this, keyframe this. I'll keep it in global till my handles break, I guess. Yeah. Just so I can have that, you know, proper arcs for how my leg sort of takes itself up. Like you want to like raise the leg and do certain things. So actually, both of these should. Man. What if I said only work on interval? What is that gonna do? Nope, still trying to figure this software out myself, so. Who's that? Bro. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of this swing here, man. Maybe, actually, I think it looked a lot better without that keyframe. Maybe what I can do is like select the whole interval over there. Ah, but every time I do this, the physics frame just like gets messed up, you know? Hey man, no trouble at all, dude. Like if I can help somebody like, you know, get into this industry or like help I don't know. It feels good, cathartic for my own reasons, and I'm really happy that somebody found that useful. Well, I'll have to start a Discord channel on my own, man. Currently in between jobs? No, actually, I don't have a job anymore. I'm gonna have to search for a new job, not in this industry, because I'm still not confident enough that I'll get a job in this. But yeah, like I'll definitely post updates because I do plan on doing this live stream a little bit more regularly. So you're welcome to join anytime you'd like. And if I do make a Discord, I'll put it in the links. Don't worry. Yeah, dude. Thank you, dude. RDD87Z. Red Dead. What? RDD. Nah, I'll just have to think of a new name for that. What if I just get rid of this keyframe, man? Alright, Ruben, thank you. I'll see you soon too. Yeah, dude, no problem at all. Somebody's knocking on my door. I'm just gonna mute my microphone and come back. Yeah, guys, I'm gonna go take a break in a little bit, but I do want to like finish up this animation over here. So like, I just want to fix this issue over here. You know, jumping in between these two. So, let's see if I just move these keyframes, do they help? Oh no, no fucking wonder, man. These ones do not have any interpolation in between them. That's why. Also in this frame, maybe in this one. I'll shift his hip. Shit his hip. Shit his hip. Yeah, boy. Yeah, that fixed it. That fixed it, man.